Welcome to your training course. In this video, I'm going to show you how to go through your course so that you can complete it and keep track of where you are as you move through the training. If you look in the upper left, you'll see the title of the course. The course we're going to use for this video is the Lean Six Sigma Black Belt course, but the layout will be very similar no matter which course you're in, and my comments will apply no matter which course you're taking. You'll notice what's called a breadcrumb trail. This shows you how you got to where you are. So if you want to back up and move backwards and forwards through the training, this will help you do that. Right below that is a block, and it's called Course Completion Status. And it'll provide you with an overview of where you are at in the course. This particular student has completed the course, so the status is complete. And it says all required below are all activity below are required. And in the Lean Six Sigma Black Belt course, there are 189 required activities, and this student has completed all of those. I'm going to click the More Details link to show you the report that you get. And this shows you the required activities, what the requirement is, the status, and the completion date. So the first criteria is overview, and the requirement says viewing the SCORM. A SCORM, S-C-O-R-M, is what Moodle calls the video lessons that we use. And the video lessons will have a particular icon. I'll show you that later. In this case, the student viewed the lesson called Overview on November 29, 2012. Now, some of the lessons are not required, so when we get back to the main topics, I'll show you that there are some lessons that are not required, and I'll tell you how to tell whether or not you must complete a particular requirement. Anyway, by using this report, you can scroll down through and see when you completed each activity, and if they're not complete, you'll also be able to see that. Let's go back to the page, to the main course page again. Right below the course completion status block is another block that says setting. And in that is a link that you're going to find very handy, and it's the grades report. So I'm going to click the grades report link. And what this shows you is the grades for each of the activities in the course. Now you'll notice that the first activity, called the lesson interface, does not have a grade. And yet the course completion report said that this student had completed all of the required activities. The lesson interface is not actually a required activity. So it shows you how to interpret the lesson, but it doesn't have any subject matter content. So it's not a required activity. And in this case, the student did not actually view the lesson interface, and that's not a problem. The little brown cube is a video lesson. Again, Moodle calls these SCORMs. The page with a check mark in it is a quiz, and the little hand holding a piece of paper is an assignment. All of these have grades. However, we ignore the grades for everything except the assignments. So we use the completion report for looking at whether or not you've actually finished lessons and quizzes, rather than looking at the grade in the grade report. One of the reasons for this is that Moodle is not 100% accurate in showing the SCORM completion grade. So don't get nervous if it shows that you have a 0 grade for a lesson, because we don't care. We're looking at the course completion report and not the grade report. However, we do require that all of the assignments have a satisfactory grade, and this will tell you whether or not that's the case. So you see that for the choosing the Project 01 module, the Pareto assignment, this student got a satisfactory score. It'll also show you any feedback that you receive from the Master Black Belt. In the center of the front page is the topic section, and this is really the bread and butter of the course. what we want you to do is start with the very first item and proceed downward without skipping anything. So the course is designed on the assumption that every previous required activity has been completed, and so we'll use terms that were included in those activities. We'll just assume that you've taken those activities and completed them satisfactorily. So don't skip around, start at the top and work your way down. The second link on this page is for a syllabus. And this is an Excel worksheet that will let you design your own class schedule based on how many hours you want to put into the training. And there's a video on how to use the syllabus that you should watch. Next, we have the lesson interface. It shows you the various parts of the lesson interface as you work through the lessons. So you might want to look at that just to get an idea of the structure of the lesson screen and what's on that lesson screen. That'll help you as you move through the training. The student forum is where you can post questions, and the questions can be addressed to will be addressed to everybody who's registered in the course. So I look at the student forum. I get an email notice anytime anything's posted. Our master black belts look at it. Your fellow students look at it, and it's a place that you'll be able to go to get feedback. Then we have some words about online learning, about completion tracking, about tracking your grades, and so on. We also have a graphic here that will show you information about assignment grading. That's a little bit complicated, and we wanted to explain it as well as we could. We have a section that explains our coaching options. That's a value-added and additional cost activity. You can take a look at that and see if it's something you think you might need. We have a section on what software you might want to download. In fact, what software you may need to download to watch all of the videos and to access all the resources in the course. And a section on quizzes and what we look at and what we do not look at. What our criteria is for completing the course. Now we have some students who come to our Lean Six Sigma course from a Six Sigma course that did not have Lean. And we include special icons for these people so that they can see which additional modules they have to study to get through the Lean materials that they haven't yet seen. And finally, we come to our very first module, which is the course overview module. This module includes an overview storyboard, which is in PDF format. Our video lessons are in Flash format, so they don't play well on they don't play at all on Apple's iOS tablets and phones, but the storyboards can be viewed. So you can still see the content of the video lesson in hard copy, and that will help you then review and study offline. The brown cube is a video lesson. You want to be sure that your pop-up blocker is turned off. The video lessons play in pop-up windows, and if your pop-up blocker is operating, it will block those lessons. So you'll click it, but you won't be able to see it. And finally, the quiz. The quizzes are all self-scoring. So when you enter the answer, you can click to see if you got it correct. If you do not get it correct, we don't recommend that you just start guessing. So what we want you to do is go back through the storyboard or the lesson or the reading materials and search for the correct answer. Often you can enter search terms straight from the quiz question and find the answer. That review process is very, very helpful in learning, and we want you to have the opportunity to learn by repetition. So don't guess. Some of the quizzes, in fact, will penalize you for guessing. So when you finish the quiz, it's going to say you were partially correct, even though you have all the answers right. And that's because you guessed and you didn't get them right the first time. The next lesson is what is Six Sigma. It's just an overview of the topic and so on. So just proceed, as we say, from the top down. What you'll see is that some lessons have some activities have a checkbox next to them. Initially, these checkboxes will have a light gray background with a white check. And as you complete them, it will change to this red check mark. And that's one way you can keep track of where you're going without looking at the completion report. Just scroll down the page and see which activities have check boxes and which do not. When the assignments are graded, instead of a red checkbox, they get a green checkbox. I'm not sure why that is, but it is a quick way to look for assignments that you still have to complete. Now I want to show you one lesson that's a bit different than all the others. This is the brainstorming assignment, and when you get to that assignment, which is a ways into the course, that checkbox will not check off automatically. And that's because this assignment is not graded. When you enter a brainstorming quiz or when you enter a brainstorming session, there are no wrong answers. So we don't want to grade your quiz ideas, or I'm sorry, your assignment ideas. But this is the only one where you'll have to actually point at the checkbox and click it to show that you've completed that activity. All the others are automatic. In the upper right-hand side, you'll see a panel that says Messages. If I leave you a message, your Master Black Belt, one of your fellow students, you'll see an alert up here, and you'll be able to just click it and go to the message and respond to it. Directly below that is a People box, and you can click on that and interact with the participants in the course. We ask that you don't abuse that. We don't want you spamming each other, but we haven't had any problem. Our students tend to be very responsible people, and it's an easy way to communicate with other people. And then directly below that is an upcoming events block, and that's where you can enter reminders for yourself from the course syllabus, what module you should be on, and so on. And you can also click the Go to Calendar link to enter information in your calendar. And all that is explained in the video about how to use the syllabus. So having said that, I'm going to conclude this tutorial. And at this point, you should be ready to launch. Go to the program and start your training. And if you have any questions, you can post them to the student forum. And I'll try to respond to them as soon as I can. So best of luck to you and enjoy your Six Sigma training.